Issue 265. The story starts out with it being revealed that there's even more Detonics out there. Sonic thinks that either he takes them down from behind in a surprise, or they'll explode when they reach their target. Then Silver frees them, and after Sonic says that he didn't need the help, calling him Snow White, the didn't need the help part somehow didn't tip Silver off that he's a hero, as Silver tries to attack Sonic. Sonic snarks, "Okay, you're obviously completely mental. What exactly is your problem?" Sonic interrupts Silver after hearing his little speech, saying, "Yep, I'm not listening to any more of this. Not so nice being hit in the face mid-sentence, is it? You show up throwing stuff around like a lunatic claiming you're from the future and calling yourself a hero. How stupid are you?" He asks if Silver's Fabian's hairdresser, not really responding properly to the fact that he was accused of destroying the future. I'd expect him to be horrified, shocked, furiously denying it. Silver finally has the idea to grab Sonic with telekinesis in his whirlwind attack, and Sonic snarks cathartically, "What are you, 12? Super Sonic and I aren't even the same person, you pixel brain." Technically they are now. He and Super were fused into one, remember? Then one of the bounty hunters of Shinazar come in to save Sonic, saying that Silver's not a killer. I guess he wants to protect Sonic so he can collect the bounty on him for himself. He fights Silver, with the Stone Guy also doing so, and surprisingly, the story ends with not only Silver being knocked out, but Sonic too, as he's tied to the bounty hunter vehicle. I guess Silver being caught off guard was supposed to justify him losing, but come on, why didn't he just telekinetically hold everyone in the air and win? Other than that wouldn't have made a good story. I think it still would have. It would have made more sense. In the next story, we see Santa at Christmas Eve with his elves, and he's sick despite being a magical being who should be able to cure it. Fortunately, he doesn't somehow think Robotnik is the perfect replacement for him, which was the worry I had since Eggman's also big. Instead, the choice is Big the Cat. So how's Big gonna screw this up? He's told intriguingly that he simply has to think where he wants to go, and the reindeer will follow. Somehow he fails at his task, though not sure how, and then he falls through the roof of a house giving some people a present, and asks, "Can I have some milk and cookies, please?" Which made me giggle and smile for a while at how naive he's being. The next person on the list is Eggman, who fortunately is getting a mere lump of coal. Eggman's planning to tell his badniks, which includes Ed Pawns, to steal Christmas presents all around the globe and snatch hope from people in the process. Makes sense. Eggman says that there's no way his plan can possibly fail, and predictably this leads to Big the Cat crashing through his base, wrecking his plan, while casually tossing a lump of coal his way. Realistically, the elves realize that Big saved Christmas twice by the looks of the badniks, so at least he did something right, which is good. And even better, the story ends rather heartwarmingly, as after Sonic looks at Big all doubtful, Big just gives him a gift saying he's a good guy and runs off, with Sonic looking more paranoid and confused than grateful at this point. I guess even Santa thinks he can't clear Sonic's name. Though you'd think he'd know that if he had knowledge of Sonic being a good guy, it'd be because he has camera footage of him, right? So couldn't he show that footage to everyone on the planet? Though that'd be an unsatisfying Deus Ex Machina to get Sonic's reputation back. But it's been dragging on for so long at this point, I don't think people would have minded. In the next story, Rouge is reminded over the phone that she was hired to help the Dracons, not toy with a hilltop cop. Then after a humorous line, "Rouge, the Dracon House of Knowledge does not get put on hold." Rouge is called by someone named Rusty, just after we see Norris show up, and surprisingly reveal himself to be working for Rouge. The only reason they made it this far was thanks to him, as apparently only he could take all those tiny scraps of info Rouge found to make her the best blueprints for Eggman's lab. This blatant "as you know" dialogue continues. Why would they even talk like this? Then, in an even bigger wham moment, Norris says that if it's evidence to clear Sonic the Rouge is after, his biggest fan should be the one to do it. Oh wait, no, she's probably just using him and lying. Never mind. Rouge tells Norris apathetically to just do what he does best, and easily dodges all of the laser grid. So does Norris, impressively. She then leaves Norris to a caterpillar, planning to give Eggman a visit after a costume change. She targets Eggman with a green gun, and the computer says that there's an assassin conveniently. I guess the camera caught her. and Rue shows up saying that she'd be happy to defect to his side if the price was right. Seriously, she makes Fiona look moral. I don't know, that just popped into my head there, because all she cares about is making as much money as possible, and we never saw Fiona even mention money. Eggman asks what use he'd have for Rouge, and she says that she's a master spy who can access the planet's most secure stronghold. He agrees, and with North Silver and Citadel Robotnik, Rouge says to give Master Scholar a message that this double agent will be renegotiating her rates very soon, and she hopes that Dracon's pockets are as deep as Eggman's. In the next story, we see the Egg Bastion, home of Eggman under the control of the Dracon Empire, and the Dracon says that he's been getting strange readings from Eggman's helmet lately. Another Dracon says with Eggman's eyes closed near him that they shouldn't care because they need to keep the planet occupied with the war for just a little longer. Why not do whatever you want to do right away? The war is called a facade, the readings suddenly become normal, and the Dracon says he wants to win the war and go home already. Then Fang shows up saying that he knew Eggman was still just as crazy as ever. Surprisingly, it's actually lampshaded Fang's stupidity. You're telling me that even though our zone is being attacked every day by badniks, you were mad enough to sneak into the Bastion to spy on Robotnik, and you didn't blow him up? You're insane! For some reason, the General dismisses his revelation that Eggman's under Dracon control as another lie, and not just the fact that he claimed he snuck into the Bastion in the first place. The General says he's had enough with Fang, and Fang complains belatedly that the zone leader malarkey isn't as fun as he'd hoped, as it's all paperwork and meetings. I like that he had this moment. I wish I saw Scourge have it. Then the Elks show up to take back the country from Fang, and Fang says, "Fine, take it. I'm done with this boring zone anyways." And he calls having political prisoners classy. He presses a button, and another badnik wave closes in on the zone. The General says that now he can finally do what needs to be done and end this war, and a launch is completed with the General wanting to level the Bastion. Unfortunately, he also wants to ruin the Weasels as well. Fang then tells the Dracons that one of the biggest threats to Eggman winning in the Southern Hemisphere is on its way. So did he make a deal with the Dracons off screen? The Elks get attacked by 7 battleships and thousands of badniks swarm the area. Then a bomb goes off in the council chambers, all because of Fang. Fang's annoyed that the Dracon's no fun either, and admits that he's right in his time, and he damages the General's airship, as I really have to wonder why he'd side with Eggman or the Dracons at all. Like with Kane, it seems very self-destructive to actively keep the world from getting a lot better. He's living in it! Then Fang is called out on by the Dracons for betraying the Weasels since their zone is joined with the Elks, plus they don't see how he's got anything else to offer. So he's betrayed by them and teleported directly to the badniks. I hope this killed him. Great writing would give him character development because this is the second time him betraying people hasn't worked out for him. And as a genius, you'd think he would figure out the smartest course of action for his life after that. The first story was by Stephen Davis. It had Sonic meet Silver, barely react to being told he destroyed his future because he flat out doesn't believe him. And then in a surprise ending, Sonic ends up getting kidnapped by the bounty hunters after being knocked out. How? How would Silver screw up that bad? The second story is by McDonald, and as Santa being sick and deciding to make Big the Cat, who he should know is a dumb oaf, the replacement Santa. This actually leads to some pretty good moments aside from just stupidity of his. As he saves Christmas from Eggman, hilariously nonchalantly, and then acknowledges that Sonic's a good guy, giving him a present. What was the present? We'll never know, which seems lazy to me. The third story is by Chris G, and has Rouge negotiate for a higher paycheck by using Norris to sneak into Eggman's base and get him to offer her more money than the Dracons. So really, she's all about making as much money as possible. That's her whole motive. Still feels weird though that she'd actively help bad guys. I guess she thinks this is the easiest way for her to make that amount of money, and she's opposed to being a prostitute, which would probably get her a lot of money too. And the final story by Mike Corker has Fang find out the Dracons are Eggman's real bosses, relatably get sick of being a country leader, and sadly betray the people planning to take down Eggman with an airship just to get betrayed by the Dracons himself.